Hey folks, Tito, Jeff Thidoff here at Thid Happens on Twitter. Find me there. This is on FanStream Sports, powered by DSP Media with the Buckeye Blitz. Also, go to the FanStreamSports.com website, newly designed, and it looks great. Check out all things there. And also go to the FanStream Sports Facebook page. Like us there. Listen, subscribe wherever you do your podcast, please. We would appreciate that. But there's all kinds of great programming all the time and new stuff happening at a rapid pace with FanStream Sports. All right, Buckeye Blitz. Ohio State gets the 24-6 win over Washington over the weekend. And it was a methodical win for Ohio State. The Buckeyes came in, the point spread, whatever, it's like 13.5 was the early look, got down to like 8.5, 9. I think it was 9 by the time kickoff one came out. And Ohio State played a very conservative game in the first half, other than going for it on fourth down deep in Washington territory. I don't know if you call it aggressive or not, but pretty much a conservative game plan in the first half. And second half opened up a little bit, but the outcome was never in doubt. And that's significant when you look at the fact that it's a Washington team that is undefeated and at home in a tough environment for Ohio State, with Julian Sayin making his first road start for Ohio State. So there were a lot of different moving parts involved in that. And there were certainly potholes that Ohio State could have hit. They didn't. They played it's a damn near flawless game. They had to fumble the punt. That was bad. But nonetheless, I'm just saying, like, by and large, though, 24-6 in a game where they were never really threatened by Washington, I don't believe. Washington's got a great dual threat quarterback. Ohio State bottled them up. They did a great job with that. So Bo Jackson had a big game. We saw Jeremiah Smith be involved as well. But it just was a game where Ohio State, I think, the game plan they had was executed damn near perfectly. And the defense holding Washington to 6 points. Washington is, look, I'm not saying Washington's like Notre Dame as far as offense goes, but Washington is a very good offensive team. At home, Ohio State stifled them. Washington did not have any, 2 field goals, did not have a lot of success going against Ohio State. So that was a positive thing. When you look at the way Ohio State's season's unfolded so far, it's really been damn near perfect, with the win over Texas. Tough team to beat. Sayin's first game as a starter for Ohio State. And then dominated Grambling State, whatever. Beat OU, had some adversity in that one. And then just now beat Washington. Now they've got Minnesota coming up. It's a night game at the Shoe and homecoming, which I know Ohio State fans are like, why is this the night game? Why wasn't Texas? Why won't Penn State be? I get it. You're right to be complaining about that. But nonetheless, they've got Minnesota coming up this week. And I think what you'll see, I think that Ohio State will probably open up the offense a little more in games like this one coming up this weekend. Very close to the vest, Jim Tressel reference, against Washington. But I think that the next few games, they've got Minnesota, they're at Illinois, they're at Wisconsin, but they've got these next few games coming up before they play Penn State on November 1st. And I think they will try to ramp things up offensively, try some new things out in games that are, let's just say, games Ohio State should win rather easily. And I think they'll take more chances there, especially this week against Minnesota coming up. But they want to have, I think, an understanding and full confidence in the arsenal they're going to employ against Penn State. I don't want to see them conservative, and then try to blow it up against Penn State. I'd rather see them take some chances the next few games, still get your wins, and then have a better idea of where this offense is going into Penn State. On November 1st, big game there. It's still a big game. Look, Penn State lost this weekend. I get it. It's still a big game for Penn State because they have a chance to still compete for the Big Ten championship. If they beat Ohio State in Columbus, that would be huge for them. Penn State loses this weekend to Oregon. And I liked Jim Knowles when he was here. I really did. I know that after the Oregon loss last year in October, it was friction among the coaching staff with Jim Knowles. And Ohio State, though, this year upgraded with Matt Patricia. Getting Matty P is an upgrade over Jim Knowles. And a year ago, I would not have said the same thing before the Oregon game. A year ago, I would have said Jim Knowles is by far and away the best option as a DC for Ohio State. But now I will tell you, Ohio State did upgrade. And Penn State's still a good team. They really are. They're a solid team. But there is a clear difference in talent between Ohio State and Penn State. Ohio State, to me, look, they've got the most impressive win of anybody with their win over Texas. Maybe Oregon now at Penn State. Ohio State gets Texas. They beat them in Columbus. Oregon wins at Penn State. That might be a bigger win. Alabama at Georgia might be a more impressive win there. Nonetheless, you can't argue that Ohio State's not one of the top, I would say, top 3 teams at worst in the country. Penn State's not that. Penn State's got chances. Look, they still play Indiana. Indiana's, who I think is still a fraud, but Indiana, for what it's worth, Indiana is still a ranked team coming off a big win at Iowa. But I still believe Ohio State. I think Ohio State and maybe Oregon, and I'm trying to think who the third. God, it might be Ole Miss as far as Miami. Best teams in the country. So I guess what I was going to say is I don't wish ill on Jim Knowles, but I do think that Ohio State upgraded with Matty P being their defensive coordinator now. He did a fantastic job of designing, mixing up coverages. Washington tried to go with like a very up-tempo offense to prevent Ohio State from showing disguised looks. That's one thing Ohio State's done really well this year on defense, is that they'll line up in a way that makes the offense think Ohio State is doing this when they're really doing that. And Washington tried to combat that by going with up-tempo. So Ohio State could not get into their, I don't want to say fake, but their design, their deceptive defensive stances, deceptive defensive coverages. They did a good job of that. And like I say, Washington's a quality team. Washington's a top 25 or top 30 team, in my opinion. But there's a clear difference between Ohio State and Washington. Like that's how you do it. You Ohio State, long pause, Washington. Washington, good win though, nonetheless. And I love the fact that now Ohio State's got a win at home against a damn good opponent in Texas, a couple of methodical kind of wins, and then a win on the road at Washington. It's going to serve this team well going forward. And they are the best team in the country right now. I love what Ryan Day is doing. I love Julian Sayin, what he's doing. Bo Jackson had a great game. The defense is the defense. Oh, my God, they're so damn elite. 6 points against Washington in Washington in a game where Washington and its fans knew this was a potential statement game for the Huskies. Like, they got up for it. Ohio State put their foot on the neck early and just did not let up. And that's what happened there. So Ohio State gets to win 24-6. Big game against Minnesota coming up this weekend. It's a night game in the Horseshoe, homecoming and all of that. Ohio State will roll. We'll talk a lot more about that later on. Follow me on Twitter @ThatHappens. FantasySports.com is the website, the newly redesigned website, FantasySports.com. And then go to the Facebook page, like, list, subscribe. I use a line a comedian used once. If you like us, tell your friends. If your friends don't like us, find new friends. That's it for me, folks. Take care.